Thanks for staying with ASONYE live here on Kaftan television. Like I said earlier, we're dedicating today's edition to the girl child. Nigerian children, especially the girls, have peculiar challenges that they face, and we'll be getting into it, especially trying to get solutions for that. In the studio with me to discuss the Nigerian girl child, the peculiarities of their challenges and the solutions to some of the problems they face is Ifeanyi Ofodu Raymond. He is a youth consultant and founder of Raymadegroup and a UNICEF and African Union recognized advocate to end child marriage and the female genital mutilation problem that the girl child face. You seem to be a he for she.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
I am honored to have you here. But let's talk about the Nigerian girl child. We've been talking about this issue over and over again. It seems like it's almost a broken record. But would you say that the efforts of civil society organizations, the government, has indeed shown its impact at all?
Today is a very remarkable day. Because today is a day for the Nigerian government to reflect on that term, the girl child. Who is the girl child? What and why should the government protect the girl child? Today I'm just coming from an event organized by the Minister of Women Affairs, and the First Lady was also there. And today we instated the fact that change has come. The girl child is a symbol that we need to recognize. And unfortunately, we have been doing a lot in the past. A lot of advocacies like me, I'm a he for she ambassador. And we have been pushing for the recognition and the protection of the girl child. But gradually, we are getting there. And I think that name has been enshrined into the Nigerian system. CSOs, government partners, they have heard about that name, girl child. Exactly.
However, while CSOs and government partners and stakeholders around the advocacy have heard about this, when we look at the dire statistics of over 20 million Nigerian children out of school, they tell you that 60% of that number is the girl child. We still have the issue of the child marriage, you have tried to put an end to. We have the issue of the female genital mutilation that we keep talking about. It doesn't seem to come to an end. We have several cultural and religious issues that still affect the girl child, and this has become a very dicey topic, especially because of the religious and cultural coloration that comes into it. What would you say this new cabinet of the government, this new administration should start doing, and doing fast, to ensure that these issues are addressed one at a time?
Yes, thank you for that. Things have changed, like I mentioned earlier. It is no longer the normal system of the way things are done.
Right.
And if you people follow the Minister of Women Affairs closely, you see the passion and the inspiration she's bringing. We are ready to fight. We, the advocates, have done our job by highlighting the problems, the factors like out-of-school children, child marriage, teenage pregnancies, child gender-based violence, things that these girl childs are facing. We have been able to push it out in the air so that nobody will say we were not informed.
Right.
Everybody has been informed now. We're now looking for action, implementation of those recommendations. There are a series of recommendations, projects, programs that we are proposing that the government should take up to ensure that we limit the number of out-of-school children, that the women are empowered, that we see that teenage pregnancies are eliminated to zero minimum, that we see that no more child marriage, no more female genital mutilation. And I must tell you that all hands must be on deck. We cannot wait for any single sector to do this alone. It rushes down to the family's organ of the family. It rushes down to the community. Everybody has to take responsibility. And even like the way we tackle crimes, that is the way girl child problem should be tackled. Be your neighbor's voice. Be your neighbor's seer. Speak out. If your neighbor's daughter is not going to school, talk to your neighbor. Why is this child not in school? So these are the things that we need to galvanize. We need to make sure that we're pushing out there to ensure that Every single one is involved in this process, and I'm happy that we're having this conversation.
I'm happy that we're having the conversation. Yes. I mean, it's something I am personally very passionate about, and I have tried to also be this neighbor, neighbors keeper that you keep talking about. But I've also seen issues where it's time for the government to be to bring the stick approach here. I read about a country where there are punitive measures meted on parents who do not bring their children to school. I mean, we read about the West where, I mean, if your child does not come to school at a certain time, social services comes to find out why your child is not coming to school. The school has the responsibility to announce that. Is that something you think would be too strict or too much for Nigeria?
No, that is why we have taxpayers' money. That is why people are paying tax, for the government to solve social amenity problems like this girl child problem. Now, there was a time I gave an analysis, a 3-stage steps of how this should be implemented. We have the family, the community, the government. Now, you talked about the government. When it comes to the government, we have 3 arms of government.
We do.
We have the executive, we have the legislative, we have the judiciary. Each of these arms of government has a role to play for the girl child. The executive is to ensure that the budget, every single thing that will make this girl child stay in school, make their parents empowered, is in place. Basic amenities, basic infrastructure. Then the legislative is to ensure that there are laws, bills that are passed to ensure that there are punishments for parents that are neglecting their child, and there are, tough sanctions on
Would
them.
that be after addressing the economic realities of these parents first? Because there's always the question of, what do you put first? We have seen government in state levels try to even make education free to a certain extent. That has not helped. There's such an administration here in the country that even had the schools built better standard, if you ask me, but we did not get these girls into school. So
yes, and I've not finished. I was talking about the legislative. Now the judiciary. I know why I specify these arms. The judiciary is in charge of implementing the law. So now the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs has been pushing and is pushing to launch a mobile court, which I believe is the fate of Nigeria. This is going to punish those that are offending the law, those that are not following the law, those that are not doing what is right. And like you talked about, the government, what are they doing? How are they pushing this? What amenities do they have for the parent? They must be empowered. The parents must be empowered to be able to put their children to school, starting with their mothers. Let's not neglect the mothers.
Of course.
Because the mothers, when you empower the mothers and the mother understand why my daughter should be in school, she will fight and put her child in school. An educated child, like they say, is like educating a nation. So when
especially
you educate a woman,
exactly.
Yes, exactly. When you educate a woman, you're educating the nation. So we must see the importance of education. We must see the necessity. We must see why we need to keep fighting.
Okay, Raymond, we'll just go for a very short break. We have yet another guest joining us. The conversation is going to be very robust, speaking about the girl child. We'll be right back after this.
Now wrapping up the day. Unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with Kaftan TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on Kaftan News at 7.
Nigerians are living in abject 5%. Our young people purpose the harmony symphony.
It's good to have you join us on Kaftan TV News at 7.
What we found that this 10 naira are not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. And join us again at 9
Kaftan TV News.
Welcome back from that very short break. Joining us now to add flesh to the conversation we've been having, and a woman at that, while we celebrate the International Day of the Girl Child, is Blessing Olugbuyi. She's a public health and human rights advocate, founder and executive director, Caritas Development and Health Initiative. So good to have you join us, finally.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Now, it's wonderful to have you. We're just having the conversation, but I guess I just bring it to you right now. The girl child in Nigeria. What do you think we should start doing? I mean, it's needless to count again the many challenges they often face and the ones that are peculiar to them. But if you have to suggest to the government where to start, and start immediately, and that will give me a semblance to what exactly, when you look at the myriad of challenges, what really hits home for you. What would you say the government should start doing, and doing fast?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I would say that the government should look into the area of education, should look into the area of health of young women, should look into the area of empowerment, because looking around us, we'll see that, you know, there are so many challenges that are facing the girl child, ranging from poor education or lack of education to poor healthcare to a lot of cultural norms and limitation, and a lot of them that are really stopping the girl child from thriving. And so I would say that the government should please try as much as possible to encourage opportunities that would enhance a girl child education and ensure that these girls actually have the quality and the kind of education that they are going to be proud of, and that can, you know, make them to be more you know, of impact to the society, because the girl has a lot of potential. Girls have lots of, you know, things to offer to the society, and I think we should tap into that, because for me, I believe that girls are agents of change. Girls can be very innovative, they can be agents of change. And so how do we tap into that? Because if you look at the society critically, you see young girls that are springing up, you know, and trying to fight for the rights of girls and even other aspects that would help advance the country. And the last time I was at the UN house, I was telling them, I said that for us to be able to tap into the resources we have in this country, then we need to start looking inwards and start, you know, harnessing these resources from the angle of the girl child and the youth. And without doing this, we just notice that we are just going around circles, because these are the people that have the change you're looking for. These are people that have the innovative mind. These are people that think out of the box. They have the energy and everything to, you know, put to work some of the things we are really struggling with.
Okay, well, let's go to Ifeanyi right now. And Ifeanyi, you know, we had taken the conversation earlier to the mobile courts that the Minister of Women Affairs is advocating for, and one of the things the girl child faces is sexual abuses, and I can understand how these mobile courts would bring swift justice and justice at all that has been denied several girls so far. But does it also make you feel a little, does it take you aback when you see that these things are not taken as seriously even by the girls? It seems like we have come to allow harassment and molestation. How do you feel as a he or she especially?
Yes, I'll put it in the way that we're living in a world of too much stigmatization. So the stigma has made, they have embraced the stigma to become a social norm where people get to hide those private sexual violence they face, even in the same house. There's a recent case of an 8-year-old child in Enugu that was raped severely by her father. And now the mother is in the picture. So you see that some of
the mother was aware of it.
I don't even know if the mother was really aware.
So how can the mother not be aware?
There's this, because we are seeing it as a negligence from the mother. How can you not have noticed that such is going on? What held your daughter's tongue from coming to you, Mama? This is what is happening to me every night. Where are you safe when such things are happening? So you see, that's kind of, we are not giving this girl child the confidence to speak out, to fight against this. Somebody will get raped and be traumatized, and it becomes something that they hide deep. And you realize that in the society we live in now, people tend to, okay, they don't want to even know the perpetrator or the victim. They will start blaming the perpetrator. They will start blaming the victim. That, oh, see, you were wearing short skirts. Oh, see, you were. So that is lack of knowledge, lack of common sense. For you to understand that violence and violation of human right is a violation of human right and is punishable by law. Exactly. So this cannot be something that we make normal in the society we live in now. And that stigmatization is something that we're working so hard to eliminate from our society, because people need to learn how to speak out, stand for themselves, and be self-empowered.
Right. And then let's go to Madam Caritas Development and Health Initiative. What do you think when you see these abuses, especially sexual abuses that we young girls face, and how the society approach it?
Okay, thank you so much. You see, in the area of sexual abuse, you know, one thing we really work around in my organization is the area of sexual reproductive health and rights. And in sexual reproductive health and rights, you're talking about, you know, sexual rights also. You're talking about protecting the rights of this young girl sexually. And so there's this project we are working on, which is empowering young women around schools to have a voice, to speak out, and to be able to protect themselves, and also step down the training we are going to train them to other, you know, of their peers, to be able to advance, you know, this issue of sexual reproductive health and rights, even on campus and in schools and communities around here. So looking at this, we are also seeing that when you do not speak out as a young girl, it ends up having negative impact on you later in life, because the assessments we've made over time have shown that, you know, girls that are being abused have the tendencies of, you know, having some, you know, mental health issues even later in life, because they have this this thing that makes them feel very inferior and makes them, you know, go back into their shell, and could lead them into drugs, prostitution, and other, you know, things.
Vices.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so there's urgent need for the government to also look into it, as well as other stakeholders, to see how we can curtail this and enable these young girls to see the value in themselves. Exactly. And be champions of sexual rights, sexual reproductive health and rights. Because I believe that if we allow these young people, train them in such a way that they understand what sexual health is all about and the rights they have, they will be able to step down this training to the younger ones, to their peers. And so, because peers, over time, we've noticed that peers, you know, learn from each other quickly. Exactly. Than when an older person is trying to talk to you about something. You'll be looking at them up there like, what is this mommy talking about? But if it's your peers, you take it more seriously. You'll be like, oh, this is what's up. I need to do this, exactly. You know. So that is what we are trying to do.
Raising young ambassadors. But let's talk about the family right now. Are we making a mistake? Because I see advocacy go to the schools a lot. We talk to these young people. But should we redirect and call mothers for a summit or something? I don't know.
I swear, if it's to be honest, if it's possible, we should call a summit for all mothers, because it starts from the family. The family is the first protection unit for every child. As a social justice and youth advocate, and traveling, I've traveled quite some. I've been to Switzerland and I've learned how other systems work. I've realized that if you get the family, you get the girl child, you get the boy child. And you know, there is a saying that goes, whatever a child sees, the father, the mother, the sister, sibling do, is what this child grows up with. And that is when you see some violent homes. Mommy and daddy fighting every day. The boy or the girl cannot be a peaceful person. They will be a troublemaker. And when they get married, the same thing happens to them. They do what they have learned when they were. You know, when you're in a tender age, your brain is too tiny. You get everything that, yes, everything happen around you. So we must get the family. This is a must. And sometimes in the family, even the educated, so-called educated families, that the father and the mother are like illiterates and they are well rich and everything, they still lack basic parenting skills because they don't know it. And what you don't know is a problem. So we must concentrate on the family unit. We must get both the father and the mother to take responsibility, because this time around it's not only left for the mother, although the mother is closer to the children always, but the fathers have to come in, be the male champions, promote positive masculinity, be the ones that will be pushing for the adequate behavior from their children. You tell your boy child, before you approach a girl, seek consent, do this, do that, know the right things. Don't shy away from these conversations, because the children will learn it one way or the other.
Right. So what would you say, Mrs. Blessing, as to how we can bring the family into this conversation?
Yeah, he's very right. Like looking at the family is the first place of discipline. It's the first place where children get trained. It's the first place where they see everything they see. And so the behavior of the parents or whoever that is bringing them up is very important. What happens around them in the home is very important. And so we are also urging parents or whoever that's taking care of the child or that's responsible of any child to please try their best to be in their best behavior. And if there's anything that they know that can affect that child negatively, they should try not to do it in their presence, because it's very important.
Okay, now I know you two of you have been very busy today with a lot of activities around the girl child. Conversations are rife. Everybody's talking about different aspects of how to ensure there's even a healthy environment for this girl child. So I'll just come to you so that this conversation do not end in summits and conferences and all these events that have happened today. How can we ensure, how can we hold government accountable? You CSOs, what are you doing differently this year to ensure that the conversation doesn't end with the beautiful event that happened today?
Exactly. We're going to be moving beyond events. This time around, it's action, implementation. And to God be the glory, I have seen that this new government is ready to work. Looking at the Minister of Women Affairs and her agenda, I've seen that they are pushing forward implementation more. And this is something that all the CSOs will deal on, because we are the accountability scorecards holders. We are the ones to tell you, oh, you promised this, you promised that, you have not done it. So what we can do is to make sure that the implementations of these recommendations are followed to the core, and we're seeing it in the society. Now, our social medias are a very powerful tool. How can we utilize it for a better Nigeria? Let us start speaking of the things that are value to our country. Let us start talking about the things that can change what we think is the normal norm, which is actually a harmful practice to us. Let's encourage the youth to become ambassadors of peace, ambassadors of positive masculinity, ambassadors of good behaviors, because we can get the young generation now, and now is the time. No other time, but we need to take action now.
Okay, so Blessing, extending this conversation.
Okay, for me, I would say that looking at the government, let's say the government is really ready to work, and then because they are just starting, so we are just trying to watch. But then I also look at the fact that looking at the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Mrs. Betta Idu, she's a young woman. and it's a good one for us as girl child. And so I think she should try as much as possible to carry other, girls along to see how we can, try to create the change that we really need when it comes to implementations of policies that has to do with the girl child. The girl child should please be involved. Right. So we are calling on the government that whenever a policy is to be implemented, they should not only call the girl child when they want to make policies, but when it comes to implementation, we should be carried along. We should be involved. If there's any training they feel that the girl child does not have, they should have those trainings and be the ones to implement this project, because they are the direct people that are affected, so they know how best to carry out the implementation, and they should be engaged in some of the committees that have been set up, because a number of times they will call us, oh, come, let us do this, let us do. At the end of the day, we'll not know how everything ends. They'll just push out by the side, say, all these small girls go arrest. So we want the government to engage us so that we can be able to express how we feel, and then be able to engage in those areas that affect us. And we also want to call on other stakeholders like the international organizations to please look into the rights of the girl child in Nigeria and see ways that they can help us even in this area, and ensure that even the area of sexual reproductive health and rights that we are trying to push out in schools and communities, that they are able to engage with us in our innovative works and all of that. And also I want to also talk to all the girl child out there that they should try as much as they can to be that agent of change, so that some of the narrative that people have about them in the area of prostitution, in the area of some of the things that the society frown at will not be there, and they should just try to embrace that positive side and watch the things they put out on the internet, just like my brother have said, because these things are very important, so that the government can see us. They will not just look at us as lazy Nigerian youths, but they can see us as people that are making meaningful impact, because there are a lot of us out there that are actually making meaningful impact in the society and the world at large. So I want the government to also see us from that lens and not as lazy Nigerian youths.
Okay, so before I move and we're running out of time, I'd just like you to speak in a minute to the young girl listening to you right now. What's your encouragement for that young girl listening to you, the Nigerian girl child?
Yeah, the Nigerian girl child, listen. You are beautiful, you are bold, you are courageous, you are everything you think you are and more. So I want you to go out there, take away shame. Shame have nothing to give to you. Take away anything that tries to limit you, dust them off your shoulders. Stand with your head high and go and achieve your dreams. Go and get that thing done. Go and achieve your goal. There's nothing you cannot achieve. There's absolutely nothing a boy can achieve, a man can achieve, that you can't achieve.
Okay, and I think it's time for Ifeanyi now. We're really running out of time.
Yes, I would like to say this, and I mean it with all my heart. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter your background, you can do it. You can make it. Just believe in yourself. Be able to have self-confidence. Be able to speak out. Anything holding you, tell somebody today. If you're not close to your mother, tell your father. If you're not close to your father, tell your uncle, tell your auntie, tell somebody, talk to someone. Don't bottle things up your heart. As a girl child, believe that your dream can be the brightest of all. Thank
you so much. We've had powerful advocates here for the girl child today. I mean, you couldn't both have said it any better. So I thank you for being part of the program. We've been discussing with Ifeanyi Ofodu Raymond, a youth consultant, founder Raymadegroup, UNICEF African Union recognized advocate. He's also an advocate for social justice. We also have Blessing Olugbuyi, public health and human rights advocate, founder, executive director, Caritas Development and Health Initiative. They are both so much more. We can go through naming all they have achieved, but thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you.
Now, this is where we draw the curtains on ASONYE Live today. Rest assured, we'll be back tomorrow with so much more. So do have a wonderful day. And the girl child out there, like she said, keep smiling. You can do anything you put your mind to. Have a blessed day.